Hi, Mr. Michael. How are you?
I'm fine.
So what can we do for you, sir?
I just want them to be exposed so they don't scam any more guys, the girls.
Okay.
There are three sisters, but mostly...
Three sisters?
Yeah, but mostly the girl I supported, I want her to be exposed public, so she feel ashamed what she did, because 5 years we've been...
You're talking about your girlfriend, Filipino girlfriend?
Yeah, but she was
What's her
married.
name?
Eva Lalanto
Eva.
Husay.
Where's she from here in the Philippines?
Yeah, Cebu, San Fernando, Cebu. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did she do to you?
No, she told me she was a single mother, one baby.
Okay.
But the reality is she have a husband and 2 kids.
Okay.
And talking with, I met her online,
All
but I
right.
met her in person also. Rented an apartment.
Here we go. Once again, you've tuned into the Black Skull Show. I'm your host, the Black Skull, coming to you from an undisclosed location in the middle of nowhere, but going somewhere fast. Let's get ready for this. I'm excited about our topic. We're going to be talking about how to survive dating in the Philippines. Now, I spent about 6 years in the Philippines, and I did a lot of dating while I was there. You would think that you are in paradise as a single man in the Philippines. But often, that paradise can turn into hell real quick if you're not careful. Like the man in the clip, that's just one of many stories of foreign guys who go to the Philippines looking for love. And what they end up finding is women who pretend they love them, but what they really love is the money that the foreigners offer. This man has spent 5 years with a woman he thought that loved him, but in reality, she was already married and she had 2 kids. That's something that often takes place there, where you'll have someone pretending that they're someone that they're really not. I've heard so many stories of men meeting women online there in the Philippines, and they'll tell them, "Oh, I'm single. I live by myself," or "I live with my family," and then come to find out she has a boyfriend, or she's married, or some other type of weird situation that the man wasn't expecting. And the man sends money over to her because she comes up with all these different excuses of why she needs help. Someone's sick in the family. Something happened. All these different reasons to try to separate the man from his money. But we're going to talk about some different things to watch out for if you're dating online. You're dating someone in the Philippines. I'm going to be honest with you though. Knowing what I know now, it wouldn't even be wise to date anyone online before you go to the Philippines and see what it's like for yourself. Because there's so many women there that you can meet at the mall or at the grocery store, and it's easy. Don't tie yourself up with one girl and fall in love online before you get there and see all the variety of women that are available. You can go to the city, to the provinces. There's a variety of places you can go and meet some quality women. But the key is knowing the games that they play in the Philippines. And yes, they play a lot of games. They play games that you won't even see coming. We used to always joke around, me and a buddy of mine, an American friend there. And when he went there, he got wild. He just went crazy, talking to so many women and meeting so many women. Because it was like amazing to him. It was like Candyland, basically. But after a few years, I noticed he started getting frustrated and started getting upset because he realized that in some cases, the relationships were very shallow. And we would always say to each other, we say, you know what? The Filipino women always have an angle. There's always some type of angle they're trying to play you on. So as a foreigner, if you're not aware of those things and how they operate, you'll get caught up and you end up losing your shirt over a woman who's playing games with you. So we're going to go a little bit deep into how to identify these things and to understand how to get past many of those things that you may face when you're dating someone who lives in the Philippines. See, you got to understand this. Most Filipinos are passive aggressive, meaning they're not directly aggressive. They're indirectly aggressive towards you. For example, Americans will get in your face. We'll tell you where you can go. But Filipinos, they'll smile in your face. They'll act so friendly towards you, but they might really hate you behind your back. And that's found in many Asian cultures. They'll smile in your face, but then be plotting on a way to stab you in the back and to do something to you behind the scenes when you don't expect it. They always have an angle, many of these women over there in the Philippines. They may not ask you for money right away. They'll tell you, oh, I want a relationship. I want to have a husband and kids and so forth. But they'll slowly butter you up with so much love. Oh, I love you, and all this, and give you so much attention. But out of the blue, all of a sudden will pop up, oh, honey, my grandmother is sick. And you'll say, oh, what's the matter with them? Oh, she's very sick and needs a surgery. Oh, how much is the surgery? Oh, the surgery will cost 50,000 pesos. And next thing you know, you're set up because you feel obligated that you have to do something because that's someone you love the girl, you want to be accepted by the family and so forth and all this. So next thing you know, she'll be asking you for money. And it may not be a big amount, it may be a small amount, but the small amount adds up and adds up. That's the game that you have to watch out for in the Philippines. Even those with the best intentions, even those that maybe you consider to be, all right, at some point, they're thinking of ways to separate you from your money. I'm not saying all are like that, because there's some very nice people and women in the country who will never ask you for anything, who are hardworking and so forth. But I lived there for 6 years, and I can say this, and this is the truth, every day on Facebook, I had someone asking me for some money or some type of help in some capacity, without a doubt. But back to the women here, back to the women. And don't get me wrong, I'm just saying these things from experience and from what I've seen to try to help someone who is listening to this this broadcast right now, okay? Now, where I'm from, they say game is to be sold, not told. But I'm not selling anything here. I'm just telling you the facts and how things work and how they are. Okay? Now, here's where we start at. Many men who are living abroad may say, oh, I want a Filipino. I want a Filipino woman. They're so beautiful. And don't get me wrong, they are beautiful. I've seen some beautiful women in the Philippines, okay? I love Filipinos. My girl is Filipino. I love Filipinos, okay? But you have to know the game or you'll be taken. You have to know how to stay in control or you'll lose control very quickly. Okay, so many of you are dating online. You go into different websites. There's so many right now. There's Filipino Cupid. There's a variety of these websites. The majority of those websites are full of scammers. When I say scammers, what I mean is those women who are on there, they're either trying to get money, they're trying to find some way to try to take advantage of you or set you up in some capacity so they can get paid. Don't think that they love you because they really don't. They'll tell you all day long, I love you, but they may be talking to 50 other men telling them the same thing to get money. There's so many online scams that, matter of fact, there's some of the women that are there in the Philippines, they make that their full occupation is to go onto these dating sites and to talk to a bunch of men and to ask them for money. It may be 1,000 pesos here, 1,000 pesos there, 500 pesos here. Oh, my electricity is getting ready to get cut off. I need your help. And these guys send them money through various sources, through Western Union, through MoneyGram, and all these different sources. And what they do is, I've seen this happen. You'll see them lined up at these remittance places there in the Philippines, getting money. You say, how in the world are they surviving? They'll be out at the beach. They'll be taking pictures at the beach and eating at restaurants and all that. And you're like, you know what? I have a pretty decent income, but I'm not out there doing all those things. What it is, they're making money from the men that are online from dating. So remember this, if you're going to survive in this dating game with Filipinos, number one, if you're talking to someone online, don't send them money. Never send anyone money who you've never met in person. I don't care what sob story they give you. I don't care what they tell you. Do not send them money. Because if you send them money, they're just going to take advantage of you and they're going to keep asking you. It's going to be over and over again. This guy that was in the clip, he sent that woman over 290,000 pesos, okay? She was living rich over there. In reality, to live in the Philippines, you can live decently if you're single off of maybe, I say maybe $700 a month. Okay, that's realistic. So if he was sending her that much money, she was living like a rich person over there off of his hard-earned money. Don't be a sucker and let these women online take your money, because all they're going to do is go and spend it on their husband or their boyfriend that they have. They'll make you think, oh, you're the only one, but in reality, they have a boyfriend on the side who they're treating and taking him out to eat and spending time with him off of your money. Now, speaking of the women online, I'm not going to go into detail too much right now about how to operate when you're in the Philippines. That'll be another segment. I'm just talking about right now when you're abroad, okay? Many of these women that are online, they'll catfish you. And what I mean by catfishing is this. They'll send you a picture of someone else, and they'll be talking to you online, and you'll think you're talking to them. Or, let's say, for example, I've seen this happen many times. They'll send you a picture of one of their cousins. You'll be thinking that you're talking to the person in the picture, but find out later on it's someone else. Many guys don't find out till they get there. The whole time they were talking to one person, and it's not even who they were talking to on the picture. So it's always good to say, hey, let's video chat. Let's talk on Skype. Let's talk on Messenger. Let's talk on one of these platforms so I can see your face and see who I'm talking to. If she doesn't want to talk to you, that's an indicator right there that something's wrong. If she comes up with excuses why she can't talk, or she's sleepy, or some other type of excuse, you know some funny business is going on. So you leave them alone. Don't give them a chance. Don't feel sorry for them. Just leave them alone because they're trying to scam you. Because I've seen it plenty of times where you'll have a girl talking to a foreigner, right? And her mom will be right there coaching her, telling her what to do, okay? Telling her how to talk to the guy. And then without a doubt, it'll lead up to what? Asking for some money. Because see, the mom knows the game, and the mom knows how to play because she's played. This is one thing I found out too there, okay? Many of the women, they all use the same script. They'll tell you, I'm not like everyone else. I'm not like, don't compare me to everyone. That's one of their favorite lines. Don't compare me to everyone else. They get mad when you compare them to somebody else. But in reality, many of them all act the same. They have the same line. It's like they took the blueprint on how to get over on foreign men, and they spread it around to everybody. And different people or different women are doing the same thing to try to get over it. Because I guess if it works, then why not try it? Okay. But watch out for these women who will catfish you online and pretend they're someone else. And then once you get there, you're going to have a big surprise that you thought you were talking to this beautiful woman, and then you end up finding out that it's a whole different person who was tricking you the whole time. There's been plenty of men who thought they were going to meet the love of their lives, and come to find out it was somebody else. And another thing too, on those dating sites, what I've noticed is this: you'll have a lot of prostitutes. There's a lot of prostitutes over there, and you'll have a lot of ladyboys. What a ladyboy is a transgender. Okay, there's a lot of transgender in the Philippines, and they call them ladyboys. They're guys who dress up like women. They're gay. And they'll be online. Before, it used to be to where they wouldn't mix in with the women on the dating sites, but now you'll see every other picture one who looks like a girl, but in reality is not a girl. So you have to be careful of those lady boys, and they'll try to talk to you. One of the key things that I always looked out for when I was online was that the way they talk. You can tell a scammer because they always will say this, yes, dear. Yes, dear. Well, they'll start telling you that they love you, and you only knew them a few moments. So you have to watch out for those key words. Dear, D-E-A-R. They start calling you dear, hang up the phone because you already know what's going on. This is most likely a scammer. Now, I'm not saying every woman online from the Philippines is bad, okay? Because I met some lifelong friends and chat mates online. Matter of fact, my first girlfriend in the Philippines, okay, I met her online, and I went there to meet her. It wasn't a perfect situation, but we spent time together. I ended up coming back to the United States for a while. We still communicate, and I decided to move there, and we were together for quite a while. But the best thing to do is, if you go online, you can talk to girls, communicate with them, see where they're from, get a feel of the culture and how they act, and use that to basically get a feel of what you're dealing with. But I'm going to tell you, the best girls are not online. Online, you'll find these few types. You'll find single mothers with kids. Over in the Philippines, it's it is taboo to be a single mother. So single mothers usually are hard to get married there. So you'll find many single mothers who are looking for love. in the first place they go online. Because what happens is many of the Filipino men, they're not really, a lot of them, not all of them, but some of them don't take responsibility for their actions. So what they'll do is they'll go and get a woman pregnant, and then they'll leave her. They'll get scared and leave. I've seen it so many times. They'll go get her pregnant and then leave her. So you have these single mothers that go online, and they're looking for foreigners to basically help take care of them and their child. And there's nothing wrong with that. And like I said, in some cases you can find, those type of women, but you have to really be careful of them too, because that's a whole another situation that you're dealing with, because you don't know if the Filipino father is somewhere lurking in the background. And oftentimes those men, they get really jealous. So if they find out that you're dating their baby's mama, next thing you know, they come out the woodworks trying to cause you problems. I remember one time I was online chatting with this girl, okay? And I was under the impression that, she was cool, looked nice, and so forth. She told me she had one kid. I was like, okay, that's fine. So we were chatting, and then I was going to go and try to meet up with her, okay? And she was talking about she wanted to meet, but she kept, postponing and putting it off. So I said, something's strange here. So then one day, I got a text message saying, leave my wife alone. And I was like, wife? I said, I was under the impression that she was single. But see, what was happening was this. She wasn't happy in her situation. She had a boyfriend who was there, but he wasn't making much money. She wasn't happy in her situation, so she was looking for a way out. So you'll find those type of situations there, to where the woman will be online talking to you on Facebook or on any of those different type of dating apps. And then there might be a boyfriend who is not providing or doing something that she wants him to do, so she's unhappy, so she's trying to find a way out. So you're the way out. But the problem is, if you go over there and you mix yourself up into a situation like that, you may end up getting yourself killed, because the boyfriend may come out of the woodworks and try to do something to you out of rage. Let me talk to the retirees for a while, okay? Now, like I mentioned before, I lived in the Philippines for a long time, okay? And it's very common there to see older men with younger women. Many of the men that they're retired, they have a pension, they're getting their Social Security and so forth, they're retired military, whatever, okay? They go there, live in paradise, have a beautiful woman. There's nothing wrong with that. But what you have to watch out for is that when you're here in the United States, before you get there, don't get yourself set up to lose your money before you get there, because see, they're already planning your future before you get on that plane and go to the Philippines. They're already planning your future, okay? So when you get there, they're going to make sure that they lock you up. I've seen several cases where, matter of fact, let me tell you like this. I knew one individual who met a young woman, okay, and she started basically, asking him for money. He was sending her way above what she would normally make, okay, per month. And then I told him, I said, listen, why are you sending this girl that much money? He thought it was normal because he had disposable income, okay? And then he got himself caught up because she got herself pregnant, or she claimed that she got herself pregnant. That's another thing you have to watch out for. And we'll talk about this later on, but what will happen is this. They'll get pregnant by someone else, a Filipino, okay? But then they'll come and sleep with you and claim that you got her pregnant, okay? Then you got to go through this whole DNA testing and all that. But the whole point of it all is to trap you. It's entrapment, because if they know they can secure that bag, secure that money, then they'll do whatever they can do necessary to secure that money. And the money that you're making every month, A lot of it's going to their family members because behind the scenes, they know they got a prize when they got a foreigner. And so you have to really watch your back because once they got your money, it's over with. And see, over in the Philippines, they don't have divorce. So once you get married in the Philippines, you're married in the Philippines unless you get what they call an annulment, which costs like around $5,000 to do. That's another thing too. There's a lot of women who are separated. So if you ever go online and you see, well, they say separated, that means this, that they were married to someone there. They can't get divorced, so they're living apart. Maybe the husband left them and left them with the kids, and they're separated, but on paper they're married. What happens is this, you have to be careful because if you get with a woman that's separated, okay, if the husband comes out of the woodwork and claims, you're with my wife, he may not have been around for 5-10 years, but he sees that you're a foreigner and that you are with his wife, guess what's going to happen? He's going to get jealous and he's going to claim that you're committing adultery. And you can go to jail over there for adultery. Okay, that's how strict it is when it comes to marriage because it's a Catholic country. And all those laws in religion are wrapped in together. So what happens is some guys find themselves in a situation to where they'll date a woman who is separated and they'll fall in love and want to get married. So next thing you know, they're forking out $5,000 to try to get the annulment. But the husband has to agree to the whole process. So if the husband doesn't agree, then you're in a situation that you can't go anywhere because you can't get married. So you may be living with someone who's already married, and so the relationship can't move forward. And then they can't leave the country because they're tied up with the whole marriage deal. So it can get very complicated in situations like that. So stay away from women who say that they're separated. Don't let them give you some sad story of how they got treated bad or how they were abused. Run from them because if you don't, you're going to get yourself in a situation, your emotions are going to get tied up, and you won't be able to do anything about it. With COVID-19 going on and travel restrictions in place and people can't move around and travel like they want to, many people are resorting to looking for love online. And there's nothing wrong with that. We've all, done that, looked online, chatted, dated, or whatever, but you have to keep in mind that people that are living in these third world countries, they're in desperate situations and they'll do whatever they have to do to survive. And if you are a means of survival, they'll use you. Not saying that everyone's like that, because there's some very good people in the Philippines. I love the Philippines very much, but if you don't know how to play the game, you will get played. So in conclusion, be careful online talking to these ladies because some of them are out for blood. This is the Black Skull signing off. See ya.